I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. Hillary Clinton enters the no-spin zone. That would be the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo if we were going to have a Talking Points memo, but we're not, because we have so much good stuff with the senator. Now, here's what happened. Earlier this week, we got a call that Senator Clinton would be available in South Bend, Indiana this morning. So we flew out last night, and we spent about an hour with her in the a.m. The interview will be in 4 parts over 2 days. Tomorrow, we'll take a look at illegal immigration, the war on terror, and foreign policy. Tonight, we'll look at what's happening in America right now and the campaign. Roll the tape. Senator, first of all, thank you for talking to us.
I'm happy to talk to you, Bill.
Are you really? So few people are.
Well, I ended up thinking that, I had to try to help you out here.
And I need all the help I can get. And also, we're in the land of the Fighting Irish.
Well, I'm a fighter, so, we've got something in common there.
We got the thing going on. All right.
Absolutely.
Can you believe this Reverend Wright guy? Can you believe this guy?
Well,
what do you think?
Well, I'm going to leave it up to voters to decide.
No, but what do you think as an American? You're an American.
Well, what I said when I was asked directly is that I would not have stayed in that church.
No. But you're an American citizen. I'm an American citizen. He's an American citizen, Reverend Wright. What do you think when you hear fellow American citizens say that stuff about America? What do you think?
Well, I take offense at it. I think it's offensive and outrageous. And, I'm going to express my opinion. Others can express theirs. But, it is part of... just an atmosphere that we're in today where all kinds of things are being said and people have to, decide what they believe. And I sure don't believe the United States government was behind AIDS.
Now, when I see people jumping up and applauding when he says that, when other things were the moral equivalent of al-Qaeda, when I see my fellow citizens, I don't care what color they are, jump up and applaud that disturbs me.
Well, Bill, this is part of the mosaic and diversity of America. And obviously, on opinions like that, well, I happen to think that it is just totally off base. It's, so far out, it's hard to even understand and take seriously. But what people are talking to me about is not that. I got to tell you, what I hear is what's happening in their lives. I mean, let somebody else worry about, taking on whatever someone said.
But trust me on this. Television ratings for Reverend Wright through the roof.
Really?
Folks are engaged.
Well, I think, though, they're making up their minds. They're weighing it. They're trying to figure it out. But I think for the presidential campaign, they want to know more about what I'm going to do about gas prices, to be blunt.
But look, I feel sorry for Barack Obama on this one. All right, I feel sorry for him. His whole campaign has been derailed by some loony guy. Isn't that amazing?
Well, he spoke out forcefully yesterday. And
do you feel sorry for Obama?
Well, I think that he made his views clear, finally, that he disagreed. And I think that's what he had to do.
Okay. Oil prices. Now, you want to suspend the federal gas tax. So does John McCain. Obama doesn't. But when I hear that, I say, this is the same old politician stuff. Because the Democratic Party is opposed to ANWR drilling. You voted against nuclear energy 7 times. And I'm saying to myself, both parties have sold the folks out on energy, and now the folks are getting hammered, and they should be angry at both parties. Where am I going wrong?
Well, here's what I think. I think there is plenty of blame to go around. We have not done what we should have done.
Even for you?
Oh, for all of us, for everybody.
Okay, so you're taking some blame.
But consumers, drivers, political officials, the oil companies, you name it. We're not acting like Americans, Bill. We're not in charge, and I want to put us back in charge.
Okay, so you're going to change your votes on drilling and nukes?
Well, here's what I'm going to do, and I've said this very clearly. In the short term, I do want a gas tax holiday, but to pay for it by putting a windfall profits tax on the oil companies.
And what does that mean, though?
Well,
what does that mean?
Now, look, what it means is that the oil companies have made out like bandits.
Right.
You know that.
Record profits.
We all know that, right? And there is no basis for them to have these huge profits. They're not inventing anything new.
So what do? Take 20% of their profits away from them?
You set a baseline, and above that baseline, you begin to tax their profits.
So Congress has got to say yes to this.
Congress has got to say yes. Now, I know that's an uphill climb.
You bet.
But I'm trying to lay the groundwork so that when I'm president, we can get in there and say, this has been going on way too long. I also want to take on OPEC. OPEC is a cartel. It's a monopoly.
You want to take them on?
Yes.
They don't care what you say. They're in Saudi Arabia and in Venezuela.
9 9 of the 13 biggest oil-producing countries that are in OPEC are also members of the WTO. I would file complaints. I would also change the law so that citizens and businesses could file antitrust actions. We're going to begin to hold them accountable.
And then if you hold them accountable, they say, well, slap another $20 on the price of oil.
Well, see,
so there.
But at the same time, we're not going to be sitting idly by, acting, like we can just get away with this. We got to change the way we behave, the way we drive. We have not paid attention for more than 35 years as to what's been happening to us.
And I'm with you 100%. Your husband was president for 8 years, and Al Gore, Mr. Global Warming, was vice president for 8 years, and they didn't do bupkis about this.
Can I say that we got to elect a president who's a fighter, who's going to take on the oil companies, going to take on the oil countries, and is going to say to Americans, we've got to really be focused on how we're going to save money.
As long as you understand
efficient.
that I'm angry, and so is everybody watching here, because both parties sold us out. Okay. You're going to bankrupt the country with HillCare, right? The health care program. You're going to bankrupt. Wait. You're going to bankrupt the country. Look,
that is so untrue.
California, okay?
Yeah.
$20 billion deficit. Our home state, you and I.
Right.
We both live in New York.
Right.
$5 billion deficit, okay? Biggest expenditure in both California and New York, Medicaid, Medi-Cal. Fraud between 10 and 20%. So you're going to tell me President Clinton, Hillary Clinton, is going to, A, run this efficiently, and B, not bankrupt the country when California and New York are already bankrupt? How are you going to do that? Moses going to come down?
Well, he could help, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's who you're going to need.
On those tablets, here's what it's going to be written. If we don't get to universal health care, we will continue to bleed money. If we don't have more accountability, like through electronic medical records, we will never catch up to the fraud. If we don't make a decision right now that we're actually going to protect what is best about the American healthcare system, we won't recognize it in 10 or 20 years. So here's what I say. Everybody who has health insurance who's happy with it, you keep it. No changes. But what I am going to do is take an already existing plan. It's not government run. It's not a new bureaucracy. It's the way Congress and federal employees get their health care. And we're going to open it up to every American because I think it's about time.
But you're going to subsidize them.
Well, we are. And but here's why. You already are subsidizing it. Your family policy has a $900 hidden tax. Why? Because when some poor person who doesn't have health insurance
goes to the emergency room,
that's right.
You got to pick it up.
You pick it up.
I don't mind doing it.
Well, but we're going to get the cost down for everybody because people should pay something if they can afford to pay it. So under my plan, we're going to tell the insurance companies, no more discrimination. You got to take care of people with pre-existing conditions. We're going to regulate them differently, and we're going to give them a different business model.
It's a complicated issue, and I hope you can do it.
But, Bill, it's a moral issue.
It is and it isn't,
moral issue.
I mean, there's a self-reliance that has to kick in.
That's right. There is a self-reliance.
I mean, I don't want to be paying for somebody who's taking heroin and drinking a bottle of gin a day.
I assume you want to pay for some hard-working family whose kid has juvenile diabetes. Or some woman who just gets diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
I think there should be safety nets, but I don't know if you're going to be able to do this.
Well, but if we don't do it, we'll meet here again in 5 or 10 years. We'll have more uninsured people. The prices will have continued to go up because we will not have put into place the safeguards and the accountability that our healthcare system needs.
In a moment, we'll continue our conversation with Senator Clinton. We'll zero in on whether she believes she herself is a polarizing personality and some of the unfair treatment she's gotten from liberal news outlets. Right back with it.